Welcome to Puente Pixels. In this episode we'll be building another new prop for the display this year, a set of the Pease family pixel stakes. So here we have the box of pixel stakes as they came from Boscayo, and we'll get one of these guys out and take a closer look at it. So here is one of the pixel stakes after we've taken it out of the box. As you can see, there's space for 10 pixels to be sort of inserted into this corro. They're actually very narrow end on, and then there is space at the back for zip ties and for a pole to go down and to secure the stake into the ground. And so we have 19 more of these, 20 in total, and once the pixels turn up from China we'll be able to wire them all together into a big chain. So this is one of the pixel stakes before they get populated with all the pixels. This particular one is 22 inches tall and has space for 10 pixels. As you can see, they're very narrow end on, and they give this just basically vertical ribbon of light. Here are the remaining 20 pixel stakes, which have all of the pixels punched into them. These are a special custom set of pixels that come from Ray-Wu, so they're 10 pixels separated by 3 feet of cable, and I've got these plugged into the pixel tester. I'll include a link to the building of that video. Since that video I've added some extra pigtails to it which support the Ray-Wu style and the DIY LED Express style pigtail which we use in most of the show. So we can just hit the test button on the pixel tester, and we can see all of the pixels are lining up. So this is a sort of side view, and then end on it looks like that. Here you can see the deployed pixel stakes out in the front yard. We've deployed them in 5 rows of 4 stakes across. We've had to work around the box hedge and the cactus that's out here. So now that we've got the stakes running in a basic test mode, let's head on over to XLights and get them set up properly so we can use them in sequence. Okay, so now I'm going to show how we've set the stakes up inside XLights. So inside the layout tab of XLights you can see a house and the stakes as they are arranged. So we have 5 rows front to back of 4 stakes left to right. The stakes themselves are just created by using the simple line tool. So you just go up to here, create new single line, click and drag, and that makes a line, and then you can adjust which end is the starting location if you've drawn them in the opposite direction. So in our case the blue square is here, is actually at the bottom, so we want to set the starting location, which is where the first pixel is, to blue square, and we would set this to the number of pixels that are in our stake, which is 10 in our case. And so you can see you get a little stake here with the 10 pixels, and you may want to come along and increase the size of the pixels themselves inside XLights just to make them look a little bit more like the real thing. So that's what we've done for these. We can just get rid of this example. So we can see here are all of the individual stakes. As you can see, these have 10 nodes per string with a starting location of the blue square, which is at the bottom. Another good tip in XLights, if you're ever going to have more than 10 objects, is to make sure that you number them with the starting 0 prefix, and then they will sort properly. So here we have the 20 stakes, and we've set these to start on universe 13 on the first channel of the universe. And so we've got stake 1, stake 2, stake 3, stake 4, and then flipping back to stake 5, 6, 7, 8, and so they go in zigzag fashion across the display like so. Once all the stakes are created, we made some groups. So we have a stakes group which contains all of the stakes. We have a stakes even group that contains the even numbered stakes, and obviously a stakes odd that contains all of the odd numbered stakes as well. This allows us to more easily make effects that just use part of the display. The other thing that we did in order to allow you to make effects that appear to rise up or fall down the stakes was to make 10 copies of each of the stakes. These are shown up here as the aerial view, so what we've sort of done is arrange the stakes in the same order that they are, as if you were looking down from above, and then made 10 copies of them. So the way we created the top-down view was to make a new custom model. So we came up here to create new custom and click and drag it out. So it's roughly about the size we want, looking at it from the top, and this creates a new custom group up here. And then what we want to do is come into here, click on the model data, and where is it, and edit it. And so we want to make the grid a bit bigger so we can see what we're doing. So if we make it 20 by 20, that will give us a suitable grid. And then what we want to do is to put in the pixel numbers corresponding to the different layers of the stakes. So if we are creating the first pixel, then what we would sort of do is we're in this first one at the front, which is stake number 1, pixel number 1, we would come in here and put 1. Now the next first pixel of the next stake is going to be pixel number 11. So we would come along here and put 11. The next one is going to be 21. The next one will be 31. And then we just keep going like this until we've completed the whole layout. This is a little bit tedious. Unfortunately, the auto numbering won't work for this sort of one because there's no way to make it do custom increments. That'll be 81, 91, 101, 111, 21, 131, 151, 161, 71, and as we can see, the view is sort of building up below. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 5 rows of 4, so we're done. Once we get the final one, we can rotate this guy around to give us a slightly better view, but it doesn't really matter. And then we can click OK, and so there we can see the sort of top-down view of our grid. And so then we can give a name to our group. So in this case we've called ours stakes send for central, as they're in the middle of the display, and pixel 1, since it's the first pixel in each stake. And it doesn't like this because of course it already exists as a name. Make it 2, so there we go. So what we want to do now is to make sure that these have the correct start channel. So if we highlight it and click on the start channel, we can come up here. So I can say these are stake 1, and then it's set to, the start channel is set to the same as the first stake, and all the rest of the numbers come out fine. And so then what we do is we just make copies of this for each layer. So this then becomes stake central pixels 02 version 2, and we want to set this start channel to be stake 01, but instead this is starting at channel 4 because each pixel has 3 channels. So in order to get the first channel of the second pixel, we want to put in 4 here, and then that produces the correct channel range, the same as we've got here. And then we just repeat this for the other remaining 8 layers in our 10 pixel stakes. So here we can see the rest of these groups that are visible from the top, and we've just offset by 3 channels each time. So we've got 4, 7, 10, 13, 16, 19, 22, 25 and 28 to get the 10th, 9th, 8th, 7th, 6th, 5th, 4th, 3rd, etc. pixel to light up in each of the stakes, vertically counting up from the bottom. And so with that we are basically done, and you can sequence these in XLights as you would normally. So these work very well with shockwave and whole house effects as the effects spread out across the yard, as you can see from some of our other videos from this season. So hopefully you will agree that the pixel stakes make a really nice addition to the Puente Pixel show. We're just a little sad that there's no more space in the front yard to put any more. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them down below in the comments. If you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe as it really helps out the channel, and thanks once again for watching.